The OnePlus 10R is best considered a reasonable form of the leader. OnePlus 10 Pro for certain distinctions in the plan, internals, and charging particulars. At the hour of this survey, the gadget is accessible just in India, yet is supposed to send off in select business sectors around the world. It's quite significant the telephone is practically indistinguishable from the Realme GT Neo 3 OnePlus, and Realme are possessed by Chinese tech Goliath BBK Group. Plan and build. Dainty and light. Plastic plan. No IP rating. The 10R has another square-shaped plan and is not normal for any OnePlus gadget you could have seen till now. The telephone weighs 186 grams and is around 8.2 millimeters thick. The form quality is respectable, however feels plastic, and not exactly the exceptional feel you would expect on OnePlus gadgets. Shockingly, I tracked down the form nature of the Realme GT Neo 3 to be somewhat better, as it includes a glass back. Indeed, even the OnePlus 9 RT feels more premium than the 10R. While the 10R ought to be agreeable to hold and use for most clients, those with little hands could think that it is clumsy. It feels beyond difficult to accept that OnePlus chose to discard the natural ready slider on the 10R, which most OnePlus clients depend on, an equipment highlight likewise missing from the OnePlus 10T. The telephone accompanies no IP rating by the same token. The matte back doesn't draw in fingerprints, however the camera knock is perceptible and will in general draw in residue and smeartphone because of the reflexive completion of my survey unit's Sierra black tone. The SIM plate at the base allows you to utilize 2 nano SIM cards in a dual SIM design. The 3.5mm earphone jack is missing, yet a connector in the crate would have been ideal to have considering the brand remembers a charger and a defensive case for the bundle. The case is of good quality shockingly, and ought to safeguard the gadget for a sensible time frame outline. Show and speakers. Huge OLED screen with 120Hz revive rate. Phenomenal review insight. Sound system speakers with direct sound. The telephone packs an enormous 6.7 inches Full HD plus Fluid OLED 120Hz presentation with HDR10 Plus support. The revive rate can be physically arranged to 60Hz or 120Hz. It's an amazing review insight with broad choices in the settings to design the presentation, which is produced using Gorilla Glass 5. The gadget utilizes an in-show finger impression scanner which functions admirably and is covered by a pre-introduced screen defender. Dual mode is accessible, and a consistently in plain view can be empowered from inside the settings. My number one element is the canvas backdrop, which allows you to produce a sketch from any photograph in your display. There are negligible bezels around the presentation, and in the center at the highest point of the screen is a 16MP poke hole selfie camera. The sound from the sound system speakers gets very clearly, with one of the speakers down terminating close to the USB-C port, and the other at the top. The sound quality could be better and sounded metallic now and again. Dolby Atmos support is incredibly absent, however there is direct sound, all things being equal. Specs and performance. Strong Dimensity 8100 Max chip. Elite execution mode. Huge fume cooling region. The telephone is fueled by the MediaTek Dimensity 8100 Max processor that offers improved warm control and decreased power utilization. It additionally includes the HyperBoost gaming motor for further developed gaming execution. This chip is matched with 8 divided by 12 GB of RAM and 128 divided by 256 GB of stockpiling. The variation I tried in this audit accompanies 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of stockpiling. There was no recognizable slack during standard use, and the exhibition as per benchmarks is nearly just about as great as the Snapdragon 888 lead chip of 2021's OnePlus 9 Pro. In ordinary everyday utilization, the 10R is smart and mischievously quick even while running asset-concentrated applications. Warm execution is discernibly great on account of the plastic body and fume cooling. The telephone flaunts an enormous fume cooling region, which assists the telephone with disseminating heat quicker than expected. Indeed, even after broadened times of weighty utilization, the 10R doesn't get discernibly hot. Just during fast charging does it get somewhat hot at the back, which is to be expected. Benchmarking the telephone with the famous Geekbench and GFX Bench applications shows the 10R can stand its ground against telephones considerably more costly. Cameras. Noteworthy essential 50MP camera, normal ultrawide and full-scale camera, normal selfie camera. The primary camera is a 50MP sensor with f divided by 1.8 gap, and pictures are shot at 12MP naturally, yet a choice to shoot in full 50MP goal as well. Photographs taken in sunshine or under great lighting conditions come out well with not much to gripe about. Pictures caught on the fundamental camera are generally excellent and contain a ton of detail. Low light execution is great as well. However, I can't say the equivalent regarding the 8MP super wide camera, which conveys normal pictures and appears as though a minimization from the OnePlus 10R's 16MP sensor. The 2MP full-scale camera is likewise an exceptionally hodgepodge. The forward-looking 16MP camera doesn't satisfy the hopes, and pictures are cleaned out and loud. This is more apparent in low light. The different camera modes are simple in the camera UI and simple to utilize. Night mode gets empowered naturally in the event that the light isn't adequate, while AI improvement is accessible and identifies the environmental elements to upgrade the picture in spite of the fact that it didn't have a tremendous effect. Battery duration and charging. Madly quick 150W charging. Great battery duration. 80W rendition accessible at a more alluring cost. There are strangely two adaptations of the 10R accessible with various battery limits. Both utilize split cell innovation, where the general limit of the battery is made up from two indistinguishably estimated more modest batteries. This takes into account more secure charging at the quickest speeds. I explored the better quality model with 12GB RAM and 256GB stockpiling that has a 500 mAh battery and 150W wired charging. I figured out how to charge the telephone from 0 to 100% in close to 20 minutes, which is a mind-blowing accomplishment. Flaunting the telephone's charging time to companions could turn into your new most loved hobby. Perhaps the best thing about this telephone is watching the battery rate expansion continuously before your eyes while connected. It is mind-boggling, and I will certainly miss it on different gadgets. What is significantly more great is that the telephone doesn't warm up impressively while charging. You can likewise get a 12GB divided by 256GB model with 80W charging and a bigger 5 mAh battery, or a 8GB divided by 128GB form likewise with 80W and 5 mAh. As far as battery duration, the 4500 mAh underlying battery I tried can last a whole day with weighty use with 120Hz revive rate empowered, and can go longer whenever set with 60Hz and heavier utilization. There is a superior presentation mode which offers a lift in execution by forfeiting battery duration, and a further choice to switch off quick charging for the people who are worried about battery well-being. OnePlus incorporates a SuperVo OC power connector in the case, and it is evaluated at 80W or 160W relying upon the model. Remote charging isn't worked into the telephone, however, yet would have been good to have considering numerous gadgets from the opposition offer it in a similar cost range. Programming and apps. Forces Android 12 to leave the container with no bloatware. Oxygenos is highlight rich yet needs improvement. 3 Android refreshes guaranteed. The 10R runs Oxygenos 12.1, which depends on Android 12, and the general point of interaction is smooth and slack-free. Oxygenos in its ongoing structure is basically the same as Colorless or Realme UI, a consequence of parent organization BBK Gather bringing each of the 3 programming skins nearer in their turn of events. Pleasingly, there are just 2 pre-introduced outsider applications, Netflix and Spotify, which can be uninstalled. There are a couple of OnePlus applications, for example, Clone Phone, Store, and Community, which can be eliminated as well. The split screen include, which is upheld on most applications, allows you to have 2 applications open one next to the other. And there is likewise a speedy send-off which allows you to send off applications from the open screen. Notwithstanding a few motions, there is a flip to quiet choice and tap or raise to wake the screen.